Hi there, and welcome to Optimize Every Day. I decided to come outside and dispose with the studio situation. Um, Honestly, it's nice outside. It's fall, leaves are starting to change. Um, it's reinvigorating to me this time of year. Just don't want to get too cold, me personally. Um, but I was thinking um, about a number of different things that we've discussed and talked about um, in the past. Um, Talked about relaxation, have talked about avatars, have talked about goals, and why they're not as effective as processes. We've talked about systems. Um, we've talked about what my goals have been and where I want to be. Um, and then I think back to when I was a kid, and the idea, anybody can be president of the United States. Well, not anybody can. You have to be a citizen of the United States to be able to run and be a born citizen. But still, you know, they say anybody can. Um, but to be honest, that's not as true as we say it is. But if you have that desire and you want to put in the effort, there is a potential that you could get yourself in a position where you could run for president of the United States, maybe even win. Um, but that's a situation where you have to put in time and effort, and you have to put in something very long term, way out in the future, as to what you want to accomplish. It's years in the making. You can't just decide when you're uh, 35 that you can run for president and then do nothing about it till you're 70 and then expect to be able to run and become president of the United States. It takes hundreds of millions of dollars to run for the president of the United States these days. So coming up with plans that will be able to put you into a status that will allow you to afford to run in something like that takes a lot of planning. So when we're trying to do something like that, how does a 1% improvement get us there? Well, a 1% improvement every day leads to a 37 times improvement over an entire year. That's huge. And if you do that the following year, that's another 37 times improvement. And the next year, that's another 37 times improvement. So many of us, um, we live from day to day, paycheck to paycheck, myself included. Um, we end up in bad situations, and that happens to everybody. You know, Nobody is immune from problems. Uh, it's how we deal with those problems. You those problems can be um, nightmarish, where you can be diagnosed with diseases that are potentially life-threatening, cancer or heart disease. But a lot of these problems, sorry to say, but if you smoke, You can fix that problem. You can quit. I have people tell me every day, I cannot quit smoking. Well, that's not true. They can, they choose not to, but often they have other issues that they have to deal with first. And so those addictions are harmful in that they cause physical maladies, but they can be cured and fixed. So what do? Well, you have to make a decision and then take a step. And then once you've made that step, you make the next step, and then you make the next step. There are alcoholics out there. I know many who decided one day that they were just going to stop drinking. And the day they stopped was the last day they ever had a drink. And these people are now in their 80s. They've stopped drinking for over 50 years. But is it that easy for everyone? No. It's hard. We have to be able to learn how to do hard things. Hard things get us to where we want to be. Hard things makes us real. Hard things leads us to new heights. Hard things gets us to do that which we need to do in order to succeed. It's a choice. We have to make the choice to deal with hard things. And once you've identified hard things, then you have to set a plan in motion and create systems that will benefit you and get you out. So if you want to stop smoking, you sit there and take away your options to get to a store that will sell you cigarettes. It's a hard thing because those stores are everywhere. But send somebody else to the grocery store to buy the food. When you go to the gas station, just buy gas at the pump. Don't go inside the store. Choose not to go to into the store. It's that valiant effort that you make in your choices that can help you stop smoking, stop drinking. Are those things necessarily always bad? No. Is the occasional drink bad? Probably not. For most people. For some people, that could be devastating. The impact and effects of drinking can have severe negative impact on some people. So, what can be done to fix the situation and make life better for you and your family who has to deal with the behaviors of alcoholism? Well, it's a choice. Making those choices is imperative to having positive outcomes. Now, does it affect everybody the same way? No. No two people are the same. No two people have the same foibles. No two people have the same experience. No two people are going to see the same thing from the top of Everest. They may have stood in the exact same spot, faced the exact same direction, and their perception of that view is going to be totally different. Even when somebody takes a picture with a camera, two different people may see two different pictures in that same picture. It's not because the picture is different, but because their perceptions are different. So we need to understand that other people have different perceptions than we do. and that those perceptions that they have don't necessarily have to impact what we believe, but we need to recognize how they impact how they see us and how we see them, and how we can interact within that frame of mind that is created from having 2 points of view. You can be Republican or you can be Democrat, and the points of view may be totally different, but there may be some things that both agree, and it's not always wise to sit there and try and drive further to the left or further to the right, trying to think that that's going to bring people together. It's the common things, the unifying things that are important. Those things make our society better. We're a social being, and as being a social being, there's more to us than just fighting, and there's more to us than just being pacifists as well. Wars are going to happen. There's going to be evil people. There's going to be good people. But everybody needs to do their best in whatever they're doing, and then make decisions on what's best for them as well. If you're having to fight for somebody who's evil and not doing anything in your best interest, then maybe you should think about going another direction and working for somebody else. And granted, that person may have some influence over you that may be extremely negative, that could cause significant harm to your situation in life as you see it. But you have a responsibility to yourself, and knowing and understanding what that responsibility to yourself is important. You know, it's been said that when you get up in the morning and you make your bed, then you've completed one task for the day, and it makes it easier to complete the next task. There is some truth to that, but not everybody wants to make their bed in the morning. Does that make them a bad person and somebody who can't get their things accomplished for the day? No. It just means that their perspective is different, and that they're not conforming to somebody else's ideals and directions. But everybody wants something that is going to make them feel good. And we need to be aware that sometimes things that will make us feel good are not good for us. And I hate to beat the alcohol, drugs thing over the head, but a lot of times those aren't good for us. But one thing that is good for us is food. But not all food is good for us. It becomes really confusing when you're sitting there trying to improve yourself and make your life better, and you're eating food and you find out that you could have been eating better. Well, you still need to eat. You still need to have something to drink that will provide nourishment for your body and will allow you to move forward. So it's not necessarily all bad, but when you start looking and start trying to eat better and practice better habits, then it then makes it so that your body works better. And when you then begin exercising, it helps your body again. And when you want to feel better, you start knocking off some of those things that aren't so good. You know, maybe it's just knocking off a few cigarettes here and there and a few drinks here and there. And going out and doing activities with friends that um, allow you to exercise in a fun way. Those kinds of things are beneficial to you. And then you go out and maybe go out to a farm and pick fresh berries and fresh vegetables and fresh items that you wouldn't normally get at a grocery store, where some of that food has been off the farm for several days, sometimes even weeks, because of when it's being picked for where it was grown, because it's coming in on ships. So being able to have a well-rounded diet and limiting our bad intake, increasing our good intake, those are things that we have control over. So basically what I'm saying is you need to take control of your life and decide where you want to go. Determine where you want to be an expert in. Become an expert. Do the things that will make you happy. Travel. Do those things that are fun for you. Or stay home if that makes you happy. But either way, live a productive, fulfilling, happy life. Read books. Listen to books. Do things that will enhance your mind and make you think. Thinking is a good thing. Thinking is a really good thing. Politics, be somewhat involved. You don't have to be super involved, but you need to be involved somewhat, especially if you're living in the United States, where that involvement will impact how people see you and you interact with others. Anyways, I thank you for watching, and I look forward to tomorrow, and hopefully I will get this done earlier so that the lights won't fall off of me and it gets dark and I'm hard to see. But like, subscribe, and have a great day. Oh, make sure to comment as well. I really would like to see your comments. And I will be making a new announcement here coming soon about a new channel that I will be launching. So hang on and wait for that. It's going to be a lot of fun.